Kindly be seated. Kindly be seated. May we now request Aksh to welcome our chief guest, Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, with a bouquet. May we now request Abhishek to welcome the President Board of Governors, His Highness Maharaja Jyotiraditya Scindia, with a bouquet. May we now request Aksh to welcome Her Highness Maharani Priyadarshini Raje Scindia with a bouquet. May we now request Aksh to welcome Jyotiraditya Scindia with a bouquet.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the school choir will now sing the school song. May we request everyone to rise.
प्रदेश के हर प्रदेश के वासी भाषा और संस्कृति के संग समता प्रेम प्रकाशी भारत की आत्मा से चित भारत की आत्मा से चित हे गुरुकुल के ग्राम पुण्य तीर्थ है ज्ञान तीर्थ है हे विद्या के नाम खुले गगन की छाव स्वच्छ धरती की गोद सुहानी संस्कारित कर सीख सिखाती गुरुवाणी वरदानी सदाचार सेवा अनुशासन सदाचार सेवा अनुशासन प्रतिपालन निष्काम पुण्य तीर्थ है ज्ञान तीर्थ है हे विद्या के धाम तुमको विनत प्रणाम तुमको विनत प्रणाम तुमको विनत प्रणाम।
Ladies and gentlemen, kindly be seated. The chief guest will now pay a floral tribute to our founder, late Maharaja Madhavrao Jayaji Rao Scindia, and to our late president, Maharaja Madhavrao Jivaji Rao Scindia, accompanied by the President Board of Governors, His Highness Maharaja Jyotiraditya Scindia, Her Highness Maharani Priyadarshini Raje Scindia, and the Principal, Mr. Ajay Singh.
While the floral tribute is being paid, please do not clap. I repeat, please do not clap.
Our next presentation is a melodious orchestral performance based on Rag Des, featuring a harmonious blend of 18 Indian and Western musical instruments such as tabla, harmonium, flute, sitar, tanpura, violin, mandolin, xylophone, guitar, congo, bongo, toka, tumba, tambourine, darbuka, keyboard, maracas, and jazz drums. This captivating presentation includes a song, Raza Khani Gat, Jugalbandi, Tarana, and Western melodies, showcasing a beautiful confluence of musical traditions. The song, Baje Sargam, Har Taraf Se Gunje Ban Kar De Is Raag, which translates as the melody resonates from all directions, becoming one with Rag Des, symbolizing unity, harmony that transcends regional, cultural, and linguistic boundaries. Sargam serves as a metaphor for India's cultural diversity, which, despite its vastness, blends together like a musical composition, driving the nation forward on the path of progress. This enchanting orchestral arrangement has been guided and mentored by Mr. Yogesh Sharma, Head of Music Department, Mr. Rajendra Sharma, Mr. Dhruv Sharma, Mr. Deepanshu Sharma, Mr. Anshul Srivastav, and Mr. Aniket Tarlekar. Let us gracefully welcome all the musicians with a round of applause.
Check, hello, check.
Hello, check. Hello, check.
Check, check. Hello, check.
Ah
We hope that this soulful performance has touched the hearts of all listeners. A saxophone in the hands of a wise being is not just a piece of music, it's a voice of discipline, grace, and purpose. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, let us invite Siddhant Jain for enchanting the gathering on the tunes of Hey Jude by the Beatles.
That was indeed a delightful piece of rendition. May we now request the principal, Mr. Ajay Singh, to kindly come to the stage and present his report for the year 2024-25.
Honorable Chief Guest of the evening, General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Defense Staff, President of the Board of Governors, His Highness Maharaja Jyotiraditya Scindia, esteemed members of the Board of Governors, the Madhav Awardee, distinguished guests, esteemed parents, old boys, my colleagues, beloved students, ladies and gentlemen. It is both my privilege and delight to extend a most cordial welcome to you all on the occasion of the 128th Founders' Day of this illustrious institution. It is a singular honor to welcome our chief guest, General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Defense Staff and Secretary, Department of Military Affairs, a soldier and statesman of the highest caliber. General Chauhan was appointed CDS on 28 September 2022. Since his commissioning into the Indian Army in 1981, he has served the nation with distinction through numerous command and staff appointments, exemplifying leadership, courage, and vision. We are deeply honored to have a leader of your stature, sir, and foresight with us this evening. Welcome. A very warm welcome is also extended to the alumni of the batches 2000, and I can call them the millennial babies of the school, and the batch of 2015, who have returned to their alma mater for their reunions. We welcome you back with warmth, pride, and joy to the very place that instilled in you conviction, resilience, and brotherhood. This day also calls upon us to pay tribute to our revered founder, late His Highness Maharaja Madhavrao Scindia I. From within the walls of this 6th century-old fort, his dream lives on as we strive to remain a beacon of learning, character, and service, navigating with confidence through the evolving currents of our nation and society. My gratitude is due to the President and members Board of the Governors. Through your steadfast commitment, this institution has flourished into a vibrant community where academic excellence, moral strength, and inclusivity stand at the core. Your guidance and vision resonate in every classroom, every endeavor, and every achievement of our students. To the eminent body of parents, I extend my deepest appreciation. I urge you to continue to place your trust in your children and in their school. Allow them the freedom to grow, to learn in harmony, and to blossom into individuals of quality and substance who shall lead meaningful lives. And now, with the gracious permission of the President of the Board of Governors, I present the annual report of the school for the year gone by. Ladies and gentlemen, students don't need a perfect teacher. Students need a happy teacher who makes them excited to come to the school and grow a love for learning. In this regard, the project Abhyudaya, which we launched last year under the visionary leadership of our Board of Governors, Mr. Rajiv Dubey and Mr. Harpal Singh ji, continues to provide structures defining and enhancing the capability and capacity of the Scindian faculty, spearheaded by Mr. Shaunak Chakrabarti. The faculty growth planning process saw a series of meetings, town halls, and off-site tour for streamlining the process. The Scindian spirit to give back to the society was exemplified through the Fort Biosphere Initiative. The project, under the guidance of the member BOG, Mr. Harpal Singh, integrated the initiative with the curriculum and has become a part of our lives at the fort. The water conservation project, under the stellar guidance of Mr. Rajendra Pawar and Mr. Rajiv Katpalia, along with the initiative of Mr. Mahesh Gandhiji, bears fruit today. The total water accumulation in our tals is approximately more than 300 lakh liters this year. 1,100 square meter land has been prepared for regenerative farming. In this area, approximately 200 kg of sludge is added every week from the ETP to increase the carbon content of the soil. In addition, Tuesdays are observed as non-motorized vehicle days, and the 0 hour were observed on the last day of the month of every month throughout the year. The Scindian podcast, fueled by the Scindian spirit, led by Yuvraj Sethia, is another brilliant initiative which has seen now 5 episodes. The READ program is enhancing the reading habits in students of the junior school, particularly by generating interest in the English language through interactions with the writers in person. Trinity program has been taken up by a number of students on the fort to enhance the language skills. The Young CEO program has been instituted with a vision to inculcate the entrepreneurial mindset, innovation, and problem-solving skills of the students. Awards and encomiums. The Scindia School was declared the #1 school in India in the Legacy Boys Boarding Schools category. Very well done, the school. The Scindia School was also declared the #1 in special rankings which you have achieved this year in the Sustainable School Rankings as the #1 green school of the country amongst 122 schools. We were also declared the #1 school in mental health and well-being. Parents, please listen to that. Among 100 schools, the Scindia School progresses and marches with the spirit. In the C4 school rankings, we secured the best boys residential school with a pinch of salt at the #2. Me, myself, yours truly, also received the Inspiring Edu Leader Award, courtesy the Scindia School. We were bestowed with the titles of Outstanding Standalone School in Tech Practices and Excellence in School Management Software, integration at the Economic Times Education Tech Edu India Awards 2025. Very well done, Scindia School. Ayan Shah was declared the runner-up in the Nani Cha essay writing competition, and please remember, amongst 30,000 selected students from the country. He made history by claiming the winner and the runners-up trophy for the 2 consecutive years. Well done, Ayan. Adhiraj Singh became a successful author with his book Elation, which focuses on youth's mental health. Koranganba Rajkumar has written The Error, the 3-act plays on chaos. Medhansh Trivedi won national and international acclaim for making a human-carrying drone. He was invited by Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation and received blessings and advice from His Highness. He was appreciated by Mr. Anand Mahindra as well. He was also awarded the National Youth Icon 2024. Well done, Medhansh. Keep growing further. Ayan Agrawal's painting was included in the calendar of Institute for Career Studies in the country. Laksh Tulsian, Pratham Lohia, Akshay Kumar Singh, and Harpreet Kaur artworks were featured in the Upal magazine countrywide. The dedication, discipline, and excellence of the students of our brass band, our very own proud brass band, continues to resonate on the Kartavya Path as they have been doing over the years. Well done, boys, and keep upholding their legacy. Not to be left behind, the debut of our music teacher, Mr. Dipanshu Sharma, as a music director, marked a major milestone with his film, Thank You Zindagi, winning Best Short Film at the prestigious ARFF Berlin International Film Festival. Excellent and well done, Dipanshu. Academics. I can proudly say that amongst the schools of our ilk, the academic results of our students stands as a reflection of consistent diligence. Class 10th secured a commendable batch average of 88% with 13 students scoring perfect 100% marks across in data science, artificial intelligence, and maths. The class 12th batch average of 2025 recorded a stellar average of 90.75% batch average, with 62% of the batch scoring 90% above. Well done, boys, wherever you are. Within these achievements, special mention must be made of the 43 students who scored a perfect 100 in painting. Excellent. 3 who scored 100 in music, and Laksh Sharma, who remarkably achieved 100 in both music and painting. Well done, boys. Extracurricular activities. The year has witnessed a tremendous achievement in this particular discipline, with in the Jindal Art Fest, first in classical instrument, second in cubist canvas, third in rock band. In the Doon School debates and quiz, we were second runners up. Let me remind you, both the students were of class 9th and they were competing against the best of class 12 students. So round of applause for both of them. Winners in the 52nd Platt debate and runners up in the quiz. Runners up in the Quasquicentennial Entrepreneurial Summit. Winners in the 20th edition of the Suryodaya IT Fest 2025. Winners in the H.H. Maharaja Madharav Memorial Hindi Debates. Winners in the Pi Summit. These are all national level competitions. Runner-up in the Gibson Quiz. Runner-up in the Mayur Invitational Quiz. And we bagged several awards in the IPSC MUN, DC MUN with verbal mentions, Best Delegation, Best Speaker, and winning a lot of awards. Well done, boys. Proud of you. Students of the Hindi Literary Society presented a short play at the Bharat Rang Mahotsav National School of Drama. Excellent. Cultural expression has found its rhythm in music, art, and drama. The Senior Inter-House Singing Competition, Sham-e-Ghazal, Inter-House Orchestra, Junior House Indian Classical Duet Singing Competition, and the Western Notes Orchestra competition lit up the assembly hall with harmony and youthful energy. The school plays The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Ek Aur Dronacharya, and the stirring musical Swaraj, a revolutionary movement, displayed theatrical excellence and historical sensitivity. We successfully organized the IPSC Music Fest with 16 schools across the country participating in it. 11 students participated, this is very special, in the 100th Tansen Samaro, which brought together 546 artists to create a Guinness World Record for the largest Hindustani classical band. Well done, boys. The Geo Scindia team went on a field trip to Chanderi, wherein students have learned with first-hand experience the region's art and craft, textile traditions, and historical monuments, along with the geology and geomorphology. Our students participated in the Gwalior Vigyan Mahotsav and received appreciation as well as awards. The inaugural TEDx Scindia School Youth has become a voice of courage, creativity, and resilience. Distinguished speakers included innovators, activists, and old boys, whose journeys left an indelible mark on the young audience. These initiatives, coupled with the Editors' Conference and the Book Bee Club, ensured that the intellectual vibrancy of the Scindia School remains ever dynamic. Coming to our live sports. True to its tradition, the school excelled on the sporting arena with distinction across athletics, aquatics, team games, and individual sports. Our athletes secured 14 medals at the IPSC athletics meet and were the second best school, and 12 gold medals at SGFI, with 7 qualifying for the SGFI Nationals. Very well done. In swimming, the Scindians dominated the district, going on to the states, clinching an impressive tally of 46 medals and securing the overall title. 11 medals were bagged at the Delhi Horse Show. Excellent, brilliant. Archery and shooting emerged as arenas of pride, with our archers winning 9 medals after the COVID break. For the first time, they have participated and they have qualified for the SGFI Nationals. Brilliant. Ishan Singh has distinguished himself at the Kumar Surendra Singh Shooting Championship and has qualified for the India Team Selection Trials. Well done, Ishan. Our student, Divid Gangwal, has been selected to represent Madhya Pradesh in the under 15 category National Chess Championship. And Keshav Jhunjhunwala has also qualified for the nationals in shooting. Excellent, keep going and doing better. Hockey and football provided stirring moments. The hockey team displayed grit at the IP tournament, winning a fighting bronze with 2 players getting selected for the nationals. Under 14 football team emerged as the runners-up in the district. Cricket has continued its dominance with retaining back-to-back titles, not an easy task, at the H.H. Maharaja Madhavrao Scindia Memorial Cricket Trophy, which was the 19th edition. This has then been a brilliant achievement because we have been beating the MNSS Rai Sports School. Excellent cricket team, well done. The sports banquet was graced by none other than the legendary Mr. Mir Ranjan Negi. 36 students went on a hockey, basketball, and tennis tour to South Africa, and 31 students went to the UAE cricket tour, where they met 2 international cricketers and received guidance from Mohammad Nabi and Rashid Khan. Our student, Yashvardhan Chauhan, has been awarded with the Madhavrao Scindia Award for being the best cricketer of Madhya Pradesh. He's also the highest wicket taker and the highest run scorer in the Vijay Merchant Trophy conducted by the BCCI. Excellent, Yashvardhan. Yash has been made the captain of the under-19 team for Vinu Mankad Trophy. No mean achievement. Another cricketer, Aryan Kushwaha, is also a member of the playing squad of the BCCI Vinu Mankad Trophy. We are proud of you boys. Annual camps and adventure and treks. The adventure spirit of the Scindians came alive through treks, camps, and we have experienced the thrills of rock climbing, sky cycling, and rappelling at the National Adventure Institute, Panchmadi, while senior boys trekked the Kuari Pass and the Ali Bedni Bugyal Meadows, marveling at the grandeur of the Himalayas. The Surya Top expedition tested endurance at 13,000 feet, and the trek to Kareri instilled resilience and teamwork. 58 students went to Tadoba Reserve Forest. In a display of stamina and grit, a group cycled 576 kilometers from Jaipur to Barmer, enduring scorching heat, yet achieving their target with determination without stopping. Well done, boys. Simultaneously, another team has trained rigorously at the Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi, mastering survival techniques and skiing basics. The International Award for Young People, IAYP, provided further opportunities for service, adventure, and leadership. 4 students had the distinction of interacting with His Royal Highness, Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh. Our faculty, Mr. Pushpesh Pandey, has completed a basic course in basic mountaineering from NIM Uttarkashi. The faculty also progresses and moves ahead. Service, which is the core of our existence. Service to the community remains at the heart of the Scindian education. Our students undertook impactful initiatives that combined compassion with responsibility. The Ladakh Service Project involved constructing a classroom at Lamdon School. Equally meaningful were the labor camps at Datia and Snehalaya, where students engaged in environmental conservation, teaching, and community outreach. A group of specially abled students visited the school under the Social Service League program, regaling the audience with their soulful music rendition. With a novel initiative this year, to reduce single-use plastic and promote eco-friendly habits across Gwalior city. The students of this community service group are collecting used clothes from the school community and creatively transforming them into cloth bags. Let me tell you with great pride, 15,000 bags have been distributed in Gwalior city itself, and our target is 1 crore bags. Well done, boys. Our boys have also, along with the VDJS school, through the Round Square conference, made washrooms, painted the walls, and planted saplings in a government school in Jaipur. We are a school which takes pride in always conveying being a preeminent center of learning with the aim of producing leaders with a global outlook and perspective, yet deeply rooted in Indian ethos. So cultural festivals and celebrations such as Ganesh Chaturthi, Teachers' Day, and the patriotic evening Ek Sham Shahidon Ke Naam justify and quantify this continued legacy of ours. The investiture ceremony, Freshers' Evening, and the Round Square Conference 2025 added gravitas to the calendar, while faculty development program at Orcha underlined the school's dedication to continuous growth. Old Boys and Sober, the Scindia Old Boys in Residence program. Foreign Secretary Mr. Vikram Misri was the voice of the nation during the historic Operation Sindoor. Can we have a round of applause? Wonderful. Mr. Pankaj Mishra was appointed CBDD member, and Mr. Ashik Ghosh advanced the Higgs boson research. Mr. Girish Chandorkar completed Annapurna circuit trek, and our SOBA chapters continue to inspire by the philanthropic endeavors. Major Dr. V.N. Saxena, ex-Jivaji 1975, conducted a session on respectful behavior and communication. Mr. Sachin Jha, ex-Ranoji 1989, and Mr. Ranjit Chaudhary, ex-Mahatji 1993, conducted insightful session on boarding school life. Vedang Nag, ex-Madhav 2021, made headlines as his animated graduation film, Where the Stars Rest, traveled to 21 international festivals, winning Best Animated Film at IISMA 2025 and the Golden Lion International Film Festival. Excellent, Vedang. Anubhav Sachan, ex-Jayaji 2023, just a recent pass out, created history as the first Indian to win the UK University Polo Championship. Excellent, excellent, and I think we should be all proud of it for this wonderful and unique achievement, Anubhav. Major General Guljit Singh Jamwal, ex-Vivekanand 1984, graced the Independence Day celebrations with an inspiring address, while Raj Jutshi, batch of 1974, returned as TEDx speaker, sharing insights in his cinematic journey. Sukhyog Singh was awarded with a bronze in International Design Awards. Arjun Singh Younglem, ex-Jivaji 2022, has been accepted by Harvard for the class of 2028. Excellent, well done. The reunion batch of 1985 was another milestone and a memorable occasion. Alumni from diverse fields reflected on how Scindia shaped their resilience, empathy, and social intelligence with the current set of boys. The school also celebrated the appointments of Mr. Ashok Gajapati Raju, ex-Chaitanya 1968, as the governor of Goa, and Ms. Chandrika Tandon, the wife of our old boy, Mr. Tandon, as a Grammy Award winner in 2025. These milestones reinforce the enduring legacy which every Scindian excel across the spheres which they learned here in the Scindia School Fort. Sri N.K. Tiwari Memorial Suryoday IIT Fest Trophy was donated by Mr. Vineet Avasti, SOBA, on the auspicious occasion of Teachers' Day, recognizing the efforts of our former principal, late Sri N.K. Tiwari ji. Mr. Prashant Prabhu took a series of workshops under the SOBIR program. A notable initiative was the workshop on academic and research paper writing conducted by Mr. Divyaditya Singh, an alumnus of the University of Westminster. Placements. This reflects our placements for the current set of boys of the last batch. This year, 4 students reached the interview stage at Stanford University. Notably, 25% of the cohort secured admission to the top global universities, which has been mentioned across the different forums. In recognition of their excellence, I would like to remind this fact: students secured a cumulative scholarship worth a total of INR 15.6 crore from leading global universities. I think we all can be proud of this fact. The school has a dedicated team guiding students through standardized tests and has been official SAT center for the past 2 years. The highest SAT score achieved this year has been 1560 out of 1600. 3 students achieved the highest score of 5 in their AP exams, 515. Brilliant. Additionally, we have got 2 faculty members trained by the College Board to provide in-house support for advanced placement preparations. The campus has been abuzz with visits. We had ambassadors, eminent personalities, including from Argentina, Serbia, Poland, and Armenia. And we can say that 4 of our faculty members will be visiting Armenia shortly in November. Mr. Mariano Augustin Cosino, Dr. Piotr Antoni Svitalski, His Excellency Mr. Sinisa Pavic, Mr. Mike Henke, US Consul General, along with Mr. Ryan Mullen, political officer, and Ms. Priyanka Visaria Nayak, political advisor, and Dr. Arvind Gupta, former Deputy National Security Advisor, visited the school and interacted with the boys. Mr. Yuvan Aves, a renowned environmentalist, visited the school and taught us how to link the environment with the curriculum. Mr. Vikramjit Singh Ruparai, a famous, renowned historian and heritage activist, visited the school and taught us about Baulis and forts. A delegation of 6 students and 2 teachers from St. Mark's School, Boston, visited the school. Workshops and exchanges. The Scindia School will, with Le Frihandy, hosted a French spell bee program workshop. An awareness program on healthy and sustainable living was held in collaboration with the Energy and Resources Institute, TERI. A paper nest workshop was conducted by Ms. Ruma Chaudhary. A workshop was conducted by the eminent educationist, Mr. Pramod Sharma, on neurodivergent thinking. The school hosted the AGM and Happy Classroom workshop for Sahodaya schools of Gwalior. Padma Shri Paresh Maiti ji visited the school and painted a live painting which he gifted to the school. Archie Dunipace from Radcliffe College and Henry Nell from Eton College visited the school. Our university fair was another highlight, hosting over 60 universities from 6 countries. Professor Arjit Khanna from Jawaharlal Nehru University spoke on the evolution of the future of languages. Dr. Pete Milan from the University of Sheffield, UK, led our students into the fascinating world of 3D printing with a session From Your Bedroom to the Stars. Mental well-being was emphasized during the Wellness and Happiness Week. Exchange programs have been further broadened with regular visits to St. Mark's School, Southborough, the German exchange, as well as the Japan exchange, which we have started. Infrastructure. We are in the process of continuously upgrading our infrastructure and resources in keeping with the evolving needs and advancements with the help of Mr. Ravi Sant, a member of the Board of Governors. Our chemistry lab bears a new look, and so does our Teachers Resource Center and the computer lab with newly acquired iMacs. Jayappa House has undergone renovation, and the revamping of Old Jayappa and Old Daulat is in the offing. Our next endeavor is to upgrade the staff residences and the student dorms as per the best in the state-of-the-art infrastructure, and we will, with the blessings of the board, do it very shortly. We welcome Mr. Sanjay Chaudhary to the Science Department, Mr. Lokesh Avasthi to Commerce, Ms. Mahimananda to French Department, Mr. Y.P.S. Ramakrishna, Maths Department, and Mr. Saptarshi Bhattacharya to the English Department. Welcome, and let's have a long and wonderful stint at the Scindia School. Ms. Sagarika Pradhan has joined as our new Sen Counselor. Before I end, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the President and the esteemed members of the Board of Governors for their unwavering support and valuable guidance. I am deeply thankful to all the parents for their trust, encouragement, and thoughtful suggestions. My sincere appreciation goes to my colleagues across the teaching, administrative, and support wings for their spirit of collaboration and understanding. I would also like to acknowledge the enthusiasm and dedication of our young prefects, whose efforts have been truly commendable. I remain grateful to the government and civil administration for their consistent support, and to the Army and Air Force authorities for their continued assistance. As you leave this evening, I hope you carry with you cherished memories of this Founders' Day with you, and renewed faith in the work the Scindia School is doing to shape the young citizens of our nation. I extend my heartfelt wishes to you on the occasion of Diwali. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, sir. May we now request the President Board of Governors, His Highness Maharaja Jyotiraditya Scindia, to welcome the chief guest and address the gathering.
So this is take two. We don't normally get that, especially not in the army. Chief guest tonight, Chief of Defense Staff, the holder of the frontier of India, General Anil Chauhan Sahib, Madhav Awardee, the person who has held India's flag high across the seven seas, our very own son of the soil, Vikram Mishri ji, the class of 2000 and the class of 2015, our alumni, members of the Board of Governors, Principal Ajay Singh ji, faculty, parents, and most importantly, my young friends sitting here in this OAT tonight, but who represent not only the future of Scindia School, but if I may humbly submit, the future of our great nation, Bharat. On every Founders' Day, this hilltop fort does more than a celebration. It comes alive. It comes alive with memory. It comes alive with meaning. And it comes alive with a spirit that binds us across generations. This day is not merely a date on our calendar, but it is a bridge across time. And it is a reminder that we are all travelers in a journey that began over 128 years ago. When my great-grandfather, Maharaja Madhavrao Scindia I, envisioned this institution, he did not envision a school alone, but indeed he envisioned a sanctuary for the soul. His dream was of building an academy where courage was nurtured, discipline cultivated, and character forged. And over the years, that dream has been brought into a collective by the generations of Scindians that have walked the ramparts and the hallowed portals of the Scindia School, witnessing the confidence that it breathes, the humility that it instills, and the leaders that it shapes. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed heirs to a very proud legacy. But we are also the trustees for the future. Now, when we see uniform, our eyes light up with a spirit of pride, a spirit of reverence, valor, and patriotism. But behind that uniform lies something even greater. What lies behind that is strong values and character. And those are the two very essence of the being of the Scindia school. They are very much the DNA that we seek to instill in every young ward that attends this home away from home. And if I may, let me take you back in history. Back in history to the age of the Marathas, where the Scindias have been always the first line of defense for the nation. My ancestor, Maharaja Mahatji Scindia, modernized India's army, put in place the latest level of training for thousands of soldiers, and equipped that army with the most modern artillery and weaponry. So much so that it pushed back the Afghan Ahmad Shah Abdali back into his home in Afghanistan. Brought about the dream of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj of Hindvi Swaraj by firmly planting the Bhagwa Jhanda on the ramparts of the Delhi Red Fort in 1771. And pulverized the British in the First Anglo-Maratha War with a decisive victory in the Battle of Vadgaon in Maharashtra in 1779. His vision and dedication created that Fauji-Hind, which brought together cultures, communities, and people to put together a united front against the aggressor. And I too share that emotion and that passion, and I recall very fondly my early days in school when I was an NCC Air Wing cadet in uniform, in blues, standing firmly, shoulders squared, hearing the piercing sound of the bugles. And with that discipline also came a sense of pride and a simple and profound understanding that discipline indeed is not a restriction. It indeed is liberation. Over the years, friendships with peers in the army have taught me that courage is not the absence of fear, but indeed it is choosing what matters more than fear. And therefore, when we see the olive green, when we see the navy blue, when we see the whites, they indeed, ladies and gentlemen, are more than uniforms. They are commitments to a nation and 140 crore citizens who sleep peacefully at night. And therefore, today we are honored. And if I may say so, General Sahab, the soul of this ancient 6th century fort is aglow with your presence. She is an old soul. She is a soul that has witnessed battles since the 6th century. She is one who has stood firm against every invader. And she reminds us even today of our illustrious past, our promising present, and our clear and present future as India advances to Viksit Bharat 2047. Today we have the Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, and if I may use the phraseology, the sentinel of our armed forces present here today. A distinguished military career spanning over 40 years. And beyond his achievements and accolades, his life stands as a reminder to all of us that a nation is not merely built on wealth or weapons, but on values and vision, built on the character of men and women who choose service before self, who choose sacrifice before comfort, who choose duty before desire, and who believe that the true strength lies not in domination, but in protection, who believe in not what we can take, but who believe in what we can give. As a soldier of the 11 Gorkha rifles, he's led from the toughest valleys of Kashmir to the frontiers of the East. A measured leader who lets planning and discipline speak for himself, a strategist and a writer, and even someone who is into art and philosophy. He's often called, and I quote, the general for all seasons, unquote. It's a privilege today to welcome amongst us General Anil Chauhan ji. And while I say that, let me also quote what he said once in his address to the youth. And I quote, instead of being glued to your mobile screens, step beyond the digital world and experience the living, breathing geography, history, and diversity of India. Something no amount of money can buy, and serving the nation becomes a journey of discovering it, unquote. In his book, named Ready, Relevant, and Resurgent, the transformation of our armed forces is explored through deep psychological insight and tactical brilliance. A striking example is the Pandavas' use of Ashwatthama's false death in demoralizing Guru Dronacharya in the Mahabharata, showing us all that strategy is beyond mere combat. His book blends tradition with innovation. The focus is just not on weapons, but on cultivating a mindset that is flexible, that is creative, and that is adaptive. It is a book that is not only relevant on the battlefield, it is relevant in our classrooms. It is relevant in corporate offices. It is relevant for startups. So all of you must remember, not only the triple R of Natu Natu, but also the triple R in life: ready, relevant, and resurgent. To be ready, not just with knowledge, but with the discipline to use it wisely. For a soldier, readiness means acting in an instant. But for you, it means being prepared for any opportunity that might arise. To be relevant means to make sure that you stay connected to the needs of our time, always able to change and adapt yourself. Our armed forces modernize constantly. And in your life too, you must never stop learning to adapt, or else you face the risk of becoming irrelevant. To be resurgent is what we teach at the Scindia school. To be able to fall, to be able to stumble, but yet to be able to rise all over again. When we have General Chauhan amidst us, we must recall Operation Sindoor, a mission undertaken by our nation just a few months ago. It was not merely a military operation. It was a message that when our soldiers strike, they do so with precision, with purpose, with principle, and with courage. To defend our sovereignty, to uphold justice, and to protect the innocent. The true definition of strength, Operation Sindoor, has drawn its name from our Sanskriti and our Sanskar. And it's an operation that symbolized life, symbolized dignity, symbolized resilience. Multiple terrorist bases were neutralized. Air Force stations across the border neutralized, without a single Indian casualty. A feat that required weeks of planning, advanced surveillance, and the courage of soldiers working in total secrecy under the leadership of General Chauhan Sahab. It was a response to the adversary. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, "Goli ka hum jawab gola se denge." General Chauhan has rewritten the playbook of the battlefield for all times to come. And therefore, students, take this as your inspiration. Greatness is not loud, it is steady. Leadership is not command, it is service. And true success is not measured in medals, but the lives you are able to protect. For a soldier, the enemy across the border. For you, the enemy may lie within. Doubts, fears, and temptations. If you are able to conquer those, there is no battle in the world that you cannot win. Today, we all face unseen battles. Stress, anxiety, peer pressure. But from the army, we learn that no battle is ever fought alone. Camaraderie saves lives. Values of loyalty, teamwork, and sacrifice are not reserved for those in uniform alone. They are life values, and their unyielding spirit lasts you throughout time. In the Bhagavad Gita, it said, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanira bhavati. When righteousness falters, a protector rises. And if you combine the curiosity of a soldier along with your capability to be able to rise, you will be unstoppable. Today, ladies and gentlemen, as we stand at the intersection of legacy and aspiration, let us ask ourselves, what is our duty? We must choose to live with purpose, choose service over self-interest, resilience over despair, and unity over division. Greatness, always remember, is not given. Greatness is chosen. So therefore, choose it in your classrooms, choose it in your friendships, choose it in your fields, choose it in your service to our nation. As General Chauhan has rightly said, and I quote, survival in today's battle space is not about being the fittest, but about being able to adapt, transform, and position yourself and seize emerging opportunities. To the chief guest tonight, to every soldier who keeps our tricolor flying high, and to every Scindian who carries this ethos in their hearts, I offer my deepest gratitude. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We now request our respected chief guest, General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Defence Staff, to give away the annual awards to the respective winners. May we request the principal, Mr. Ajay Singh, to kindly announce the awards.
Good evening to all. With distinct pride, let me announce all the achievers of the Scindia School. The Umang Mathur Memorial Trophy for the best in academics in class 11th for the year 2024-25 goes to Ayan Agarwal of Jayaji House. Ayan, very well done. Congratulations. Ayan is also our senior school prefect. Huge round of applause, please. The Mahendra Mishra Memorial Trophy for the best sportsman in class 11 for the year 2024-25 goes to Shresht Agarwal of Ranuji House. Excellent, Shresht. Very well done. Shresht also is the Deputy Senior School Prefect. The Maharaja Madhav of Scindia, second medal for all-round proficiency in class 11 for the year 2024-25 goes to Bhavesh Mittal of Mahaji House. Excellent, Bhavesh. Proud of you. The Sam Pitroda Award for the Best Innovative Project, Atmosphere, for the year 2025-26 goes to Sahil Kilore of Jayapa House and Parth Agarwal of Ranoji House. Excellent, guys. You are the future innovators of the country. let me announce with distinct pride the first medal for excellent work in the Fort Biosphere project, which we are instituting this year for the year 2025-26, which goes to Ishan Chokhani of grade 12th of Jaipa House. He has been a brilliant ambassador and a TEDx speaker for the Fort Biosphere. Very well done, Ishan, and keep up the good work. Let me also take the opportunity for this most important award, sir, which we feel should be honored with. We had instituted this in the year 2022-23. The Good Citizen Award for Humaneness and Goodness among Students. And for the year 2025-26, it goes to Samarth Garg of Madhav House, an excellent human being of character, dignity, helpful nature to everybody. Samarth, we are proud of you. The R.B. Pawar Medal for scoring the highest percentage of marks in mathematics in class 12 board examination for the year 2024-25 goes to Uday Ahuja of Daulat House. On behalf of Uday, may I invite his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Pavan Kumar Ahuja, to receive the award. The proud parents of Uday Ahuja. What a happy moment. Hearty congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Ahuja. The Governor's Medal for scoring the highest percentage of marks in class 12 board examination 2024-25 goes to Lakshya Arora of Jaipa House. On behalf of Laksh, may I invite his parents, Mrs. and Mr. Rajiv Arora, to receive the award. Mr. Rajiv Arora and Mrs. Arora. They are away for studies, and I think it's only pertinent that the parents are here, very proud, and I think proud of the fact that they studied from the Scindia school. The Field Marshal Karyappa Shield for the best sportsman for the year 2024-25 goes to Vansh Mehra of Ranuji House. Vansh, happy to see you back on campus. Proud for you. Hearty congratulations. The Maharaja Jivaji Rao Scindia Medal for all-round proficiency in class 12 for the year 2024-25 goes to Aryavardhan Singh Somvanshi of Jaipa House. Aryavardhan, very proud of you. The Khurshid Lakdawala Junior House Efficiency Shield for the year 2024-25 goes to Jankoji House. Very well done, Jankoji House. The Guru Hargobind Singh, also called the Gurudwara Trophy, for the best house in academics for the year 2024-25 goes to, old boys, Daulat House. Very well done, Daulat House. The Nepal Trophy for the best house in games and sports for the year 2024-25 goes to, again, old boys. Any guesses? You have hit the mark. Ranoji House. The General Efficiency Shield for the year 2024-25 goes to Ranoji House, guys, not Jayaji this time. Ranoji House, very well done. Milestone Awards. In recognition of dedicated service to the school, continuously for over 20 years, a salva and an honorarium of rupees 50,000 are being presented to Mr. Gopal Chaturvedi on the occasion of 128 Founders Day celebrations. Congratulations, Mr. Gopal Chaturvedi ji. "20 years to the Scindia School." Can we have a round of applause? In recognition of dedicated service to the school, continuously for over 10 years, a salva and an honorarium of rupees 25,000 are being presented to Mr. Jagdish Joshi on the occasion of 128 Founders Day celebrations. Congratulations, Mr. Joshi. It should be 10 years and running. In recognition of dedicated service to the school, continuously for over 10 years, a salva and an honorarium of rupees 25,000 are being presented to Dr. Smita Trivedi, Head of the Department English, on the occasion of 128 Founders Day celebrations. Hearty congratulations, Dr. Smita Trivedi. Thank you, sir.
As a token of our affection and gratitude, the school's art department will present our respected chief guest, General Anil Chauhan, with a portrait and a painting. May we request Rajveer Singh and Arjun Kharp to come to the stage and present our chief guest, General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Defence Staff, the portrait and the painting.
Thank you, sir. May we now request our chief guest, Chief of Defence Staff, General Anil Chauhan, to kindly address the gathering.
Honorable Minister of Communication and for Development of Northeastern Region of India and President Board of Governors of the Scindia School, Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia ji, Foreign Secretary to the Government of India and an alumnus of Scindia School and Madhav Awardee, Shri Vikram Mishri, Principal of Scindia School, Shri Ajay Singh, distinguished members of the faculty, esteemed alumni, honored parents, and young Scindians. A very good evening to all of you. Let me begin by thanking for all that honor and the kind words that have been spoken about me by Honorable Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia ji. Well, let me say that it gives me great amount of pleasure to be here amongst you on this momentous occasion of 128th Founders Day of Scindia School against this timeless and majestic Gwalior Fort as a backdrop, about which actually while we drove up to the fort, I was given a big rundown on its history. As a representative of the armed forces, I bring with me greetings of the three services, soldiers, sailors, and air warriors. Largely till now, I have addressed the uniformed community, senior leadership of the armed forces, mid-level officers, officers under training, and occasionally our men. The only school I have addressed till now is Rashtriya Indian Military College, Dehradun, and I find in terms of discipline, regimentation, and upbringing, a lot of commonality between these two schools. I am cognizant of the fact that I am speaking to young minds who are going to take India forward to become a developed nation, a Viksit Bharat by 2047, a goal set by our Honorable Prime Minister. A Viksit Bharat that is Shashakt and Surakshit, that is strong and secure. I believe that it's our Amrit Kal. Amrit Kal is a very auspicious time. We are also at this particular moment at a crossroad of important time in history. And I believe that we can change the destiny of nation. About Operation Sindoor, about which was spoken, post this particular operation, this is my second address to the student community. And it has almost become a kind of a new normal to touch upon this part of this 4-day military operation. That's the expectation probably of the audience, and I'm not going to disappoint you at all. I'm doing this because I believe that all segments of a society, including students, must take keen interest in the affairs related to security of the nation. Let me start with this phrase, new normal, because this has been used extensively, not only by our Prime Minister, but also Honorable Raksha Mantri and External Affairs Minister. And I will talk about it first. A new normal is a post-crisis environment where, having emerged out of a crisis, new rules of preventing such a crisis, or if it occurs again, handling it in a better manner are laid down. A post-crisis situation is always different, which existed before that particular crisis. An economic crisis may lay down new rules for financial management. A crisis related to security may lay down new norms for security establishments. In recent times, there have been many examples of such kind of crisis. We had this demonetization, after which digital payments became order of the day, and it redefined the financial structure of the economy. COVID pandemic, it introduced concepts like work from home, which are not prevalent before that. Apart from that, social distancing, use of masks, sanitizers in hospitals, etc., which is still prevalent today, were the part of new norm. Even after the Galwan clash, which happened with the Chinese, and subsequent talks induced new behavior and new rules of engagement for both the troops across the line of control. This particular new norm, or new normal which we talk about, has emerged from the precepts laid down by our Honorable Prime Minister. And these precepts are like talks and terror will not go together. If there are talks, they'll only be on terror. Water and blood will not flow together. Terrorists will be treated only as proxies. Their handlers will also be made equally accountable. Cross-border terrorism will get an appropriate response, and India will not yield to nuclear blackmail. These precepts affect the security dynamics of the region and will influence future contours of India's relationship with Pakistan. This is a new normal in a very, very broad kind of an concept or its manifestation. A new normal is attempting to bring about behavioral change in Pakistan's polity and dissuade it from continuing with its proxy war as an instrument of state policy. This new normal can only succeed if implications of these precepts which define this new normal are visible to Pakistan and its politico-military establishments in form of, say, doctrinal changes, force posture, force development, at least in the military domain. The actions in the military domain also have to be supplemented or backed up by similar approach in domains like diplomacy, social and cultural exchanges. In fact, the actions of the Indian cricket team after winning the Asia Cup is probably part of that same new normal. On the lighter side, beating Pakistan comprehensively and decisively in all forms of engagement, including sports, may be called as a new normal. Let me talk about military implications of this new normal. Actions in the military domain will include kinetic and non-kinetic operations with the aim to target terrorists and to degrade terrorist infrastructure. Any entity that prevents us in the execution of this task or hinders us as a corollary also becomes a legitimate target for operations in future. Armed forces, if we have to have this kind of a new normal, armed forces will have to maintain a high degree of operational preparedness 24/7, 365 days a year. This, I believe, will facilitate early execution of operations, and that, of course, when we do operations early, it opens up a number of larger options which certainly do get closed with the passage of time. As a response to new normal, it's our belief that terrorists will remove or move this infrastructure, the terror infrastructure, deep inside Pakistan. This necessitates complete intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance coverage of Pakistan, besides capability for long-range precision targeting. Accurate and timely intelligence generation and prevention of acts of terror, as also to fix accountability once they occur, will also become important. We also will require a high degree of operational preparedness as far as air defense is concerned, electronic warfare, electronic intelligence, and anti-drone systems are concerned. Let me talk about one of the gains of Operation Sindoor. Pakistan, once he had achieved its nuclear weapon capability, had believed that they had blunted India's conventional edge. It started a policy of bleeding India through 1,000 cuts. And that we saw a number of terrorist actions occurring across the country. India's restraint was presumed as a weakness, and the violence was escalated thereafter to include military targets like Pathankot in 2016, Uri in 2016, Nagrota, Sujwan, and Pulwama. As a response to this, Indian Armed Forces came about with a dynamic response strategy, which was premised on a belief that there is sufficient space between sub-conventional operations, that's actions of terror, and the nuclear war. Operation Sindoor proved it. This needs to be formally converted, and this dynamic response strategy, into a doctrine of ours. I believe the expansion of this space for conventional operations is one of the biggest achievements of Operation Sindoor. Let me talk about how we see warfare today. We've all grown up seeing warfare in, say, 65, 71 war, etc. I myself was a student like you people when the 71 war broke out, and we used to see newspapers every day to see accounts of aircraft losses on the Pakistan side and our side, and make a kind of a table and similar kind of thing. These were some matrices of victory, I would say, how you judge how a side actually claims victory. Earlier, this particular victory was based on, say, capture of territory, the number of prisoners of wars, surrender, laying down of arms, or destruction of war-waging potential, number of aircraft, tanks, weapons, etc., which I just made a mention about. Operation Sindoor proved all these matrices of victory wrong. A new matrices of victory would include things like tempo and speed. Second would be our capability to operate across multiple domains together simultaneously. Lastly, I think the biggest matters of victory is showing the sophistication of our operations, precision, timing, and the ability to carry out post-strike damage assessment. Let me now talk about some of the challenges before the armed forces in the context of this new normal which has been established, and in the context of Operation Sindoor, which you all know has been only temporarily halted. Some of you would be aspiring to for a career in the armed forces. To those young minds, let me explain the role of military and its leadership during crisis. I'll try and put this particular thing across in the larger context of national security. I wonder if some of you have heard about Karl von Clausewitz. He was a Prussian general, and he retired as a major general, but his works on warfare are famous. He wrote this famous treatise on war, in which he has famously said that war is a continuation of policies by other means. So war actually was considered by him a subordinate activity which flows from a larger government policy. So in a democratic setup, the military is subordinate to the political authority or the elected government. The government decides the policy, and all instruments of the government play a role in achieving the ends of that particular policy. In the context of national security, should the government decide to use force for military force for attainment of its political objectives, then, of course, it's the role of the armed forces to provide two advices to the government. First is our role is to provide options to the government for applications of that military force, and second is to generate confidence so that bolder decisions can be taken. When I talk about options being provided to the government for application of military force, the variety in these particular options will be dependent on three factors. Firstly, capability development, which we have carried out during peacetime or no peace. This is largely a function of financial resources, and this is the responsibility of the government. The second factor on which the number of options would be dependent is the wargaming, the development of plans, rehearsal, operational preparedness. This particular is the responsibility of the higher military leadership. The third would be the standard of training and the state of morale of the armed forces. This, I think, is a joint responsibility of the government and the military leadership. It could also be seen as a national effort. The more options you have, the variety in the options, the better it will be because you'll be able to maintain surprise. And the second aspect was the generation of confidence. This will stem from projecting the right capability of our forces vis-a-vis that of the adversary. In run-up to Op Sindoor, a number of options were projected to the government. Each particular option had an element of risk and a degree of success that it could achieve to attain that political objective for which the government wanted to use force. Each option was to provide a degree of political end state. The one which provided the highest element of that political goals also had the highest element of risk in it. In this case, Murid ke Bhavalpur, the headquarters of Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, had an element of political and military risk. The government took that risk and thereafter gave us a free hand to execute these operations. I have spoken about the political authority and the military leadership, but between these two elements also lies a bureaucracy, which also includes diplomats. Their role is to galvanize the larger resources of the nation to fight that particular war, because after all, war is not fought only by the armed forces, it's a national enterprise, it's a national effort, and it is not fought by the military alone. While explaining the aspects of national security, I have endeavored to define the role of a politician, a bureaucrat, and a military leader. Let me explain to you how all of them operate or function with the help of an anecdote told to me by Lieutenant General Sinha, retired long back. He was a soldier, diplomat, and a politician. And it goes something like this. When a politician says yes, he actually means maybe. And when he says maybe, he actually means no. And if he says no, then he's not a good politician. As far as a bureaucrat is concerned, when a bureaucrat says no, he actually means maybe. And when he says maybe, he actually means yes. And if that bureaucrat says yes at the beginning, he's actually not a bureaucrat. As far as a soldier is concerned, when he says no, it actually means no. If he says yes, he actually means yes. And if he says maybe, then he's not an actual soldier. So in some manner, soldiers do see things in binary mode, black and white, yes and no. But the real world actually has a various shades of gray. In this emerging world, I believe that a politician must know the job of a diplomat or a bureaucrat and a soldier. A diplomat must know the job of a politician and a soldier. And a soldier must know the responsibilities and the job of a politician and a diplomat. In our context, if we see, there is a role of national security advisor which cuts across all these three verticals between a politician, bureaucrats, and a soldier. And in Operation Sindoor, this particular appointment played a major role in the outcome, defining the outcome of this particular conflict. I had commenced my talk, talking about Amrit Kal and India's aspiration to become a Viksit Bharat by 2047. I had also told that the youth of the country will have a major role to play in it. You will shape the destiny of India, and you will also be the beneficiaries of being part of that developed nation. I personally believe that the future belongs to India. India as a nation, this is our Amrit Kal. In the past, when the world lay undiscovered, physical attributes mattered. Example, conquering the highest mountains, discovering of different worlds, civilizations, etc. That drove the Westerners actually across the whole world. In today's world, where everything lies discovered, explored, or accessible to all, there's a need to unravel the mysteries of the mind. The metaphysical will override the physical. Cognitive abilities will matter more, and Indians, I believe, are endowed with better cognitive abilities than other races. It's in our genes and our DNA. From ancient discoveries to modern accomplishments, Indian ability to think critically and creativity has always set us apart. In fact, a part of it was visible in the school exhibition when they spoke about the mathematics of the Vedic times. We actually, in fact, over there I was talking about the numerical system, which was a gift to the world by us. Otherwise, the Roman numerals which the West had discovered are not conducing for any kind of calculation. We also introduced the decimal system, and also gift to the nation, to the world was zero or shunya, which itself foundation of a basic mathematics. To visualize this concept of shunya itself is so difficult. If you look at astronomy, part of this again was displayed there, where they said that ancient philosophers over here were able to calculate exactly the velocity of light. We have written Surya Siddhanta, which said that Earth is a sphere and we rotate around the sun. But when Galileo discovered this long back, he was actually tried for it and he was kept in confinement till death. People spoke about cosmos, that's something similar to as Brahman for us. We have spoken about Mahabharata, which but written by Ved Vyasa, or about 4th BC, and this is actually almost about 10 times of Odyssey and Iliad combined together. Rig Veda, you all know, is our history of mankind, the oldest book of mankind. Why is this Indian mind so creative? It's my belief that it's creative because of intelligence. That factor is actually arises out of two factors, intelligence, that's memory and logic. So Indian mind is well tuned to memory because we have always followed an oral tradition. The Rig Veda and Mahabharata, it traveled across generations through oral traditions. So that has given us the ability to memorize. We are the only country in which children still learn tables by heart. So this has helped us develop a memory. Second thing is logic. And that is the culture of debate was part of the teaching process in India. Upanishads, that were a commentary on Vedas, and that's what we learned. So today what we see is wherever there is an application of mind, you'll find that Indians doing well. From small things like playing chess to having a spell bee competition, you'll find CEOs of global technological companies from India. This particular creativity still exists in our DNA. It was suppressed because of this 800 years of subjugation and instilling a colonial mindset. Honorable Prime Minister of India has spoken about the Panch Pran, and one of them is to get rid of colonial mindset. Gulami ki mansikta ko dur karna hai. Creative pursuits, I believe, are possible only when physiological needs are met. A safe and secure environment is important prerequisite, as it existed in the past, where there is no threat to life and property. Then only can you do creativity. This is the job of the armed forces to provide that secure environment to the nation. Let me also talk about a little bit about colonialism. At least in my belief, that it's undergone three kind of phases. First was this physical colonialism, which we generally speak about, in which territory was occupied by outsiders, and the political decision making was influenced because the territory was occupied. So, and the forefront of this were trading companies like East India Company, before physically the land got occupied. Thereafter, probably the world moved towards an era of economic colonization, where political decisions of a state were influenced through economic coercion and inducements. And in this, probably again, the precursors to this were multinational companies. They were huge. Coca-Cola, General Electric, ExxonMobil, they could be there. But today we are entering into an era which I believe is something like cognitive colonialism, which is being led by tech giants like Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft, OpenAI. And these are going to influence the minds of the country and the political authorities. So I think there's a need for the younger generation to be cognizant of this fact that colonialism is changing shape in a different kind of a manner, and in present avatar, it may be actually affecting our minds. As part of my concluding remarks, I would like to say that when it comes to nation building, it's not only the task of the governments, soldiers or policymakers, it's the collective responsibility of every citizen. And I'll implore all of you to embrace science and technology, artificial intelligence, cyber, aerospace. These are not distant fields. They are the front lines of future. Practice digital responsibility with freedom from cognitive colonialism. In an interconnected world, security begins with personal ethics and in an evolved mindset. Life, live the life of service. Service is not only wearing an uniform. Every profession is pursued with honesty and dedication, is service to the nation. Securing India physically is important, and armed forces are committed to that. Securing India intellectually in the cognitive domain is equally important. Believe in your own judgment, carrying forward India's self-assured identity into the future. We are 1.4 billion. It's a big database and a big consumer base. We can do it. As the armed forces protect the sovereignty of India, you must guard its values, innovate for its progress, and lead with responsibility. Together, we must ensure that the next century for India is brighter, stronger, and safer than ever before. And I'm sure together we all can do it. Thank you for your patient hearing, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May we now request the President, Board of Governors, His Highness Maharaja Jyotiraditya Scindia, to read out the citation for the Madhavwadi and present it to the eminent old boy of the school.
Mr. Vikram Mishri, ex-Shivaji, 1981. The vision of the Scindia School is to ignite and empower the students to create, inspire and lead with compassion as visionary torchbearers of a shared future. It cultivates individuals into a community of forward-thinking, purpose-driven leaders poised to illuminate the path for others as true change makers. Exhibiting the true legacy of leadership cultivated at the school, the distinguished journey of Mr. Vikram Mishri stands out as a remarkable chapter in Indian diplomacy. A seasoned diplomat of the 1989 batch of the Indian Foreign Service, Mr. Mishri currently serves as the 35th Foreign Secretary of India, having assumed charge on the 15th of July 2024. Mr. Mishri's accomplishments are a luminous example today, the groundwork for which was laid at the Scindia School. It was on a hot summer day in 1977 that he climbed the Urvai Ghati to become a part of the Scindia School, wherein the next 4 years were in wait to shape him into the man of metal which he is today. His deep-seated passion for theatre, nurtured by countless plays he has acted in, coupled with debates and elocutions, empowered him with the language and finesse that proved to be of great assistance to him in his life outside the fort. Whether it was his stewardship as a house prefect, or the editor of the school review, or his triumphs on the sports field in football, cricket, hockey, and basketball, each experience sculpted the persona of his formative years at the Scindia School. Gifted with an incisive mind, Mr. Vikram Mishri refined his intellect through a degree in history from the Hindu College, Delhi University, and an MBA from XLRI, Jamshedpur. As a diplomat, his assignments spanned Brussels, Tunis, Islamabad, Washington, D.C., Colombo, Beijing, Munich, and many more, with significant roles in the Kargil War, the Indo-US civil nuclear deal, India's pandemic response, and the more recent Operation Sindoor. Rising steadily through some of the most challenging assignments, including serving as private secretary to 3 prime ministers, later as ambassador to Spain, Myanmar, and China, and deputy national security advisor of India. Mr. Mishri's career reads like an epic, woven with trials and triumphs, diplomacy and duty, intellect and integrity. As his story continues to unfold, we see in him an eloquent testimony to scholarship, to service, to leadership, and the rare ability to be able to blend heart with intellect, fashioned inside the hallowed portals of the Scindia School. The Scindia School takes great pride in conferring on Mr. Vikram Mishri the Madhav Award as an Old Boy of Eminence for the year 2025.
May we now request the Madhav Wadi, Mr. Vikram Misri, to address the gathering.
President of the Board of Governors of Scindia School, the Honorable Minister of Communications and Minister of Development of Northeastern Region, Shri Jyotiraditya Scindia ji, Chief of Defense Staff, Secretary, Department of Military Affairs, and Chief Guest at this Founders' Day function, General Anil Chauhan, Principal, Shri Ajay Singh, members of the Board of Governors, parents, faculty, teachers, and staff of Scindia School, and most of all, my dear young friends, good evening to all of you. I'm more than aware that I am the last act for the evening, and I do not want to stand between you and what I'm sure is a very sumptuous dinner that is waiting somewhere in some corner of the fort for each one of us. And therefore, as Elizabeth Taylor is alleged to have said to each one of her 6 husbands, I will not keep you long. As the President of the Board of Governors said in his remarks while introducing me, it was indeed a hot and sultry day in the summer of 1977 when I trudged up the Urvai Ghati with my local guardian and made my way to the office of the then principal of the school, Mr. S.P. Sahi. The school term had already started. Mr. Sahi sent me to the library on the first floor where I was administered a quick test in mathematics, English, and Hindi. The test over, I walked out of the school building and stood at the top of these steps of the open-air theater, gazing at this stage, blissfully unaware of how much of my school life would revolve around it. It's for that reason that I really feel at home at this stage, right now, at this moment. A short while later, Mr. Sahi summoned me to his office to inform me that I had been admitted into class 9 and would start school the very next day. I was slightly over 12 and a half years old. In slightly more than 3 weeks from now, I'll turn 61. But I have little hesitation in saying that during the entire period in between these two dates, there has hardly been a phase of my life when I have not felt the formative role of the school as the all-important crucible that helped shape so many aspects of my life and my career. Today, as I stand here, I'm filled with a rush of memories. The pressure of exams, the corridor banter, the intense competition on the cricket, hockey, and football pitches, the excitement of inter-house debate and elocution contests, the wonder, personally for me, of discovering drama and theatre as an art form, and above all, the solemn hush at Astachal. Today, there isn't enough time to delve at length into all these memories, but there is something else that also fills me today, and that is profound gratitude and emotion for the honor that the Board of Governors and the school have chosen to bestow upon me in the form of the Madhav Award, which I accept not just as a personal achievement, but as a tribute to the institution that shaped me in ways both visible and invisible, the Scindia School. I'm grateful in particular to my teachers, my mentors, and my guides from my time at school. And in all humility, I would like to dedicate this award to them, as well as my schoolmates, my housemates, and my classmates, each one of whom, in their own way, helped me to learn and grow as a person. I found out very early at school that this was not just a place where I was sent to learn. This was a crucible of character which would challenge me, which would stretch me, which would drag me outside of my comfort zone, and which would ultimately transform me. The values instilled within these walls and across these fields of integrity, of curiosity, and of empathy above all have been my compass through every twist and turn of my life. It was here in the school building that I learned to question, to listen, to lead, but most importantly, also to fail with grace and rise with resilience. And I'm not saying that only as a rhetorical point. Some of my classmates who are probably present here today might remember this. We were taught chemistry in class 9 and 10 by Mr. T.S. Ingle. Well, guess what? I failed the first chemistry exam that Mr. Ingle gave me. I was crushed. After the answer copies were distributed, Mr. Ingle took me aside and said, somewhat matter-of-factly, and I would even say phlegmatically, don't worry, work harder. I did. I eventually got through the 10th class board exams in chemistry. And even though I never ventured anywhere near chemistry again in the rest of my life, the lesson simply taught of the value of hard work, application, and effort was burnt into my mind for a lifetime. Today, I'm grateful to the entire faculty that watched over different aspects of the time that I spent at school, whether in the classroom, on the games field, in art and craft class, or indeed on this very stage. In the months just before I passed out in 1981, or maybe I should say graduated, because today's generation understands something different from the words passed out. Anyway, in those early months of 1981 or late 1980, the school received its first pair of computers. As they were being installed, one of the senior most faculty members, Mr. T.N. Khar, also a chemistry teacher, by the way, remarked that we have the answers. Now we need to ask the right questions. In that moment, I also learned that learning is not just about answers, but also about asking better questions. I'm grateful also to my teachers for their patience, their passion, and their persistence. I would be failing in my task tonight if I did not particularly recall the immense debt of gratitude that I owe to Mr. Siddharth Abhimanyu Ramanujan Acharya, my English teacher, Mr. Manjitinder Singh Bedi, my history teacher, and Mr. S.P. Mukherjee, my geography teacher. English, history, and geography. What else is there for a diplomat to learn in this day and age? Thank you all for believing in me, my teachers, and for lighting the fire of a quest for knowledge that endures to this day. To my fellow schoolmates from that era, I know and I regret that we have not remained as closely connected as we would have liked to since leaving school. I blame myself for that. I also blame my job for that, given that it has intermittently kept me abroad for nearly 23 years. But I want to say that this award is a shared honor. We are all products of this institution and have shaped each other in invisible ways, perhaps more than we will ever fully know. As we carry forward the school's legacy in our chosen fields of endeavor, we will always be united by the common thread of the values that we imbibed right here. Last, but certainly not the least, to the current students of the school gathered here. I can see myself and many of my colleagues among you with the same spark, the same zeal, the same zest, but perhaps also the same doubts, same apprehensions, and the same confusions. Trust me, that is the normal state of being. You're not just entering upon the future, you also have a chance to shape it. The school should be your anchor. As it did to me, it will challenge you, but it will also comfort you at the same time. When you graduate, yes, graduate, you will not just be equipped with the knowledge of how to make a living, but how to live a life. On multiple occasions during my time here, my teachers threw me into the deep end of the pool. Not a literal one, because I didn't know swimming, that would have been very dangerous, but a metaphorical one. I gasped, I gulped, I flailed, I thrashed about. In the end, I survived, and even better, I learned. Now, as I look back, I realize that every adversity that I have overcome in nearly 4 decades of my career, every accolade, every achievement has, in one way or the other, had its roots right here in Scindia School. In the lessons learned, when thrown into the deep end, in the friendships forged, or in the values embraced. In returning here, to accept this award, therefore, and that too, as I near the twilight of my career, I can feel a sense of fulfillment and a sense of gratitude at the completion of a journey that began here nearly 44 years ago. I could not have imagined a better homecoming. In conclusion, let me just say once again how much I believe in the power of institutions and personalities to transform lives, to shape destinies, and to produce change makers. This school is certainly one such institution, and the faculty at its helm today have a special responsibility in forging the future. As alumni, there are many of us gathered here today, we too share that responsibility and should stand ready to do everything to uphold the school's ideals, embody its spirit, and carry its light into the world. In doing so, we would begin to repay a small portion of what we owe to the school. Once again, I'm deeply grateful for this recognition. It is amongst the greatest honors of my life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May we now request the Madhav Wadi, Mr. Vikram Misri, to hand over the lamp of the school to Vivan Gupta, the youngest Sindhin.
Thank you, sir. May we request you to kindly take your seat. It is with immense pride and heartfelt reverence that we present before you a thematic performance titled Abhivyakti Ek Yodha Ki, the expression of a warrior. This evocative dance production offers a powerful glimpse into the life of a soldier, a journey marked by discipline, sacrifice, and unwavering devotion to the motherland. It is a tribute to the countless brave hearts who stand vigilant so that we may live in peace and freedom. Through the expressive language of dance and movement, Abhivyakti captures both the visible and unseen battles of a warrior, from the thunder of the battlefield to the quiet ache of longing, from the call of duty to the warmth of distant memories. Each step, each gesture echoes a heartbeat of courage and commitment. What makes this presentation truly unique is its artistic synthesis of diverse Indian dance traditions. The performance opens with the grace of Odissi, followed by the powerful fusion of Bharatnatyam with martial dance forms such as Thayyam and Kalaripayattu. As the narrative unfolds, the choreography evolves, blending into the fluidity of contemporary Kathak and the expressive freedom of freestyle dance. Abhivyakti is more than a performance, it is the embodiment of valor, the rhythm of resilience, and the poetry of patriotism. So sit back and enjoy this heartwarming celebration of every soldier's spirit, their silent strength, their selfless service, and their undying love for the nation. Presenting to you Abhivyakti एक योद्धा की.
जहाँ भक्ति में वीरता का संगम होता है, वहीं मानव में देवत्व का जन्म होता है. Ladies and gentlemen, what unfolds before you is a confluence of devotion and duty, of Trahi Durga and Abhivyakti Ek Yodha Ki. In this act, the spirit of the divine guardian meets the strength of the human warrior. It represents the Scindian ethos, where courage is nurtured, discipline is sacred, and service is a way of life. Through our act, we honor every guardian of our nation and the spirit of resilience that defines both our soldiers and our school. battle is won long before it is fought. You are now witnessing the making of a warrior, his unwavering resolve and training, and the silent sacrifices that shape his existence. It is now that duty takes form and determination finds purpose. The warrior returns home, where love awaits and laughter fills the air. Yet, when the bugle calls, his heart is torn between the comfort of home and the call of duty. This is the truth of a soldier's life. The constant pull between belonging and responsibility, between love and loyalty. And then the drums of war resound. The air trembles with valor, courage, and an unbreakable resolve. This is not merely a battle. It is a tribute to those who stand at the borders so that we may live without fear. Their strength, their unity, and their patriotism are the living heartbeat of our nation. As the dust settles, silence descends. A warrior stands, unbroken, unflinching. He bears the weight of battle, the memories of comrades, and the pride of service. In that quiet moment, he reminds us that courage never fades. It lives on in every act of duty, every heart that chooses the nation before self. And now, as the stage fills with the colors of India, our army, navy, and air force, alongside the many states that form this great nation, we celebrate the unity that binds us all. From the fort of Gwalior to the front lines of our nation, from Scindians past to Scindians present, this is the spirit of service, courage, and brotherhood that lives on in every Scindian's heart. As we rise to honor those who guard and serve, let this act stand as a homage to our soldiers, to our school, and to the timeless spirit of Mother India.
That was truly a captivating performance that has moved our hearts and left us all spellbound. The Sindhin podcast was initiated last year with the intention of connecting with inspiring guests and educating the present Sindhians about the great legacy they are a part of. Since then, the Sindhin podcast has been used as a platform for personal expression and building a community. Ladies and gentlemen, we present before you a teaser of the most anticipated episode featuring His Highness Maharaja Jyotiraditya Scindia. Take a glimpse of Yuvraj Sethia and his team engaging in this dialogue that reflects legacy, pride, and the spirit of every Sindhi.
Our guest is someone whose name is across India, whose titles are many, but whose story is much bigger than all of these.
I was very much on the path of becoming an entrepreneur. My father used to say कि राजनीति हमारा मकसद नहीं होना चाहिए, हमारा मकसद जनसेवा होना चाहिए और राजनीति केवल एक माध्यम होनी चाहिए उस लक्ष्य की पूर्ति करने के लिए.
How do you envision the Scindia school evolving in the next 10 to 15 years?
Building a class of nation builders. जो व्यक्ति अपने सिद्धांत, अपने मूल्यों के प्रति अडिग रहेगा, वो व्यक्ति नेतृत्व करने के रास्ते पर निकल चुका है. बहुत मुश्किल बात है कि लकीर के फकीर बनकर रहना. बड़ी आध्यात्मिक बात मैंने आपको कह दी है.
नहीं. What role do you see the alumni playing in shaping that journey? We talk about.
Alumni have a very, very seminal role to play. I know this is the age of instant coffee, but relationships are not instant coffee.
If you had a free day with no responsibilities, how do you spend it? क्या कोई खजाना है?
सिंधिया परिवार का एक ही खजाना है.
Sir, if you had to survive a day undercover as a student at Scindia today, what would be your strategy to avoid getting caught by the teachers?
Oh, I'd love to get caught by the teachers. Well, the funny scene that I can recount is the 125th anniversary of the Scindia school when I was just shaking a leg with all my fellow Scindians on the stage. It was an amazing environment. Got me to do things that I would not normally do.
May we now request the senior school prefect, Ayan Agarwal, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, respected Chief Guest, General Anil Chauhan, Chief of Defense Staff, Honorable President of the Board of Governors, His Highness Maharaja Jyotiraditya Scindia, members of the Board of Governors, Madhav Awardee Mr. Vikram Mishri, Principal Mr. Ajay Singh, teachers, esteemed guests, alumni, parents, and my fellow Scindians. As I stand on the podium today, I am filled with a sense of realization. The realization that there are moments in life when you don't just stand on a stage, you stand on a historic moment. And for me, Today is one of those moments. For over a century, this ground has echoed with the footsteps of generations of boys who have arrived unsure, who have stumbled, learned, and grown into men of character. Founders Day isn't just an event on the annual calendar. It is a day that binds us to everyone who has ever made this place a home away from home. It's a reminder of where we come from, who we are, and what we're capable of becoming. It is proof that the belief in ourselves, our teachers, and this institution has kept the Scindian tradition alive for more than 100 years. The belief that every boy who walks in through these gates carries within him something extraordinary, waiting to be discovered. The belief that no matter where you start, you'll never finish the same way. And that, for me, is exactly what Scindia has done. When I think about my own journey here, one truth stands out. I didn't get here because I always wanted to. I got here because I was pushed, sometimes gently, sometimes not, into moments that scared me, challenged me, and changed me. In class 7th, my housemaster signed me up for an elocution without even asking. I remember saying, I'm not ready. She smiled and said, You'll never be if you wait to be. That one line has stayed with me ever since. Standing on that stage, nervous and uncertain, I realized how much we underestimate ourselves until someone else refuses to accept our limits. Every time I thought I wasn't ready, someone believed I was. Teachers, seniors, friends, they all became part of my story. Now that I reflect on it, I've come to realize that growth never occurs when you're ready or when you feel prepared. Almost every pivotal moment in my life started with discomfort. In fact, the most challenging moments were the ones that led to the greatest growth. These defining moments sparked a domino of change, gradually leading me to this moment, standing on this stage, contributing to a remarkable legacy. Every year, a senior school prefect stands here and tries to capture what Scindia means to him. And today, it's my turn to carry the mantle forward. When you're younger, you look at the head boy on the stage on Founders Day and think, he has it all figured out. But when you're the one standing here, you realize it's not about perfection, it's about perspective. Because this role, this school, this moment, it's not just about representing myself. It's about representing every Scindian who has felt a sense of belonging to this place. When we first arrive at Scindia, we all struggle. The early mornings, the discipline, the structure feels like too much. We question it, resist it, even complain about it. But as we grow older, somewhere along the way, something shifts. The same bell that once felt too loud becomes the rhythm of your day. The same routine that once felt repetitive becomes the discipline that shapes you. And the same campus that once felt confining becomes the world you never want to leave. The things you once saw as flaws turn out to be lessons in disguise. And that's the quiet power of Scindia. It changes you from within, and you don't even notice until you look back. And so, as I stand here, I realize that this is what we carry forward: the legacy of growth, gratitude, and transformation. A promise to make this school a little more compassionate and cohesive than when we found it. When I think about graduating from this school, a thought I still try to avoid, more than the buildings or the traditions, is the feeling that I will miss the most. The feeling of standing in the Monday assembly as the bugle is played, of sitting at the Astachil as the sun sets behind the fort wall. The feeling of being pushed, tested, challenged, and realizing that every bit of it was meant to make you better. Once I leave this place, a part of my heart will always remain here, leaving me feeling empty. The late night fun in the houses, the inter-house competitions, and the relationships we forged will become memories forever. But as we look ahead towards new challenges, places, and versions of ourselves, I know I will carry Scindia with me not as a chapter, but as a compass. A compass that points me to discipline when I drift, to courage when I hesitate, and to gratitude when I forget how far I've come. And now, it's time to express our deepest gratitude to all those who made this extraordinary event possible. On behalf of the entire student body, I extend my deepest gratitude to every one of you for being here today to celebrate the vision that gave life to the Scindia School. We are especially privileged and deeply honored by the presence of our chief guest, General Anil Chauhan, the Chief of Defence Staff of India. Sir, your presence is not just an honor, but an inspiration to all. You lead some of the most respected institutions in our nation, the armed forces, the Navy, and the Air Force, built on the same values that Scindia strives to instill in us: discipline, integrity, service, and courage. Thank you, sir, for gracing us with your presence this Founders' Day. To our Honorable President and members of the Board of Governors, thank you for your unwavering guidance and for keeping this school rooted in its traditions while steering it toward progress. My thanks are due to the Madhav Awardee, Mr. Vikram Mishri. Sir, it is people like you who embody the Scindian education in the most exceptional manner and serve as an inspiration to all the Scindians. My speech would be incomplete without thanking our teachers. Thank you for shaping not just our minds, but our character. For every lesson beyond the syllabus, for every correction filled with care, and for every quiet word of encouragement when we needed it the most. I also express my deepest gratitude to all the parents who set aside their time to grace us with their presence. At the same time, I would like to thank my parents for everything they've done for me, for blessing me with this life, and for always putting my needs above their own. I would also like to thank our alumni, especially the batches of 2000 and 2015. Your presence reminds us that the Scindian spirit doesn't end with graduation. It continues generation after generation in the lives we lead. To my fellow students, your energy, creativity, and relentless spirit brought this celebration to life. You are the pulse of Scindia, and your teamwork and pride make days like this possible. Now, I take this opportunity to thank my batchmates, the ones who have been with me through this entire roller coaster ride, but never let go of my hand. The ones with whom I've seen the best of times and the worst of days, and the ones without whom I would not be who I am today. Thank you, class of 2026, for all those fabulous memories that I am going to carry forward. And finally, to those who work tirelessly behind the scenes, the administrative staff, the support teams, the maintenance crew, the security, and the technical teams, you are the invisible force that keeps everything running perfectly. This day belongs to you as much as it does to us. And so, as this Founders' Day draws to a close, may we carry forward the same courage that built this school, the courage to grow, to lead, and to serve. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.